Welcome to episode 65 on the law. Rapport. In episode 60, we dealt with the challenge or the appeal by Mr. Wilkie Arthur against the decision of the Director of Road Safety, Mr. Wilmer Kelly, to charge Mr. Arthur 11 years back fees before he is issued with a driver's license, bearing in mind that Mr. Arthur was incarcerated for that period of time. Well, the matter was heard in the magistrate courts and the decision went in favor of Mr. Arthur. And I'm going to read what transpired as reported by Magnetic Media TV. But before I do, nothing that I say in this episode is legal advice. Nothing that I say should be construed as legal advice. For legal advice, please contact an attorney of your choice. Welcome back. The first thing that comes to mind about this case, and it begs the question, why did the Attorney General Office waste precious resources and manpower defending the indefensible? Why empower the Director of Road Safety in believing in his own delusion that policy trumps law? But of course, the Director of Road Safety, being a graduate of Harvard Law School and Oxford, maybe knows better or knows more about the law than those who are legally trained. Now, that is certainly not true. It is just a figment of my imagination. As far as I'm aware, the Director of Road Safety is not a trained lawyer. Now, it appears that this matter was heard on the 8th of August 2023, according to the report in Magnetic Media TV. Mr. Arthur testified an oath that after being released from Home Magistrate's prison and was refused allowance to renew his license until he had paid back fees for the past 11 years, a period of time when he was serving out his sentence in prison. Arthur told the learned resident magistrate that he told the director this was wrong and that he had been through this before, but the previous directors waived the fees given the fact that he was incarcerated. Well, let me interject here. There was no need for any previous directors to waive any fees because there is no law attaching any fees or any back fees or backdated fees. And fees under the ordinance is the purview or within the purview of the governor, not the Director of Road Safety. And the Director of Road Safety cannot introduce fees by policy or feelings. I continue with the article. Two civil attorneys, Clemar Hippolyte, Principal Senior Crown Counsel, and a junior well-qualified assistant, Tamika Sims Williams, traveled from Grand Talk to Providenciales to vigorously challenge Mr. Arthur's claim in support of the director's position and decision. Mr. Arthur, having given his evidence in chief, was cross-examined by the senior principal Crown Counsel, but he stood his ground well, maintained his position, and was unshaken by the cross-examination. Let me interject here. Cross-examine and what? What was there to cross-examine Mr. Arthur? This is crazy. He was denied a driver's license. He was asked to pay back fees, which is not mandated by law. He appealed the decision. What is it to cross-examine him? What is it to cross-examine him? And when the Adrian Chambers should have thrown in the towel and gave the director of road safety a reality check. Mr. Arthur, continuing with the article, called no witness on his behalf. It was then the Crown's turn to convince the Honourable Lorne Resident Magistrate of its position. They called the Director of Road Safety, Mr. Wilbur Cayley. He testified that he was charging back fees for years. In other words, and I'm interjecting here, he was acting illegally for many years. This is crazy. And he has the audacity to accept and to admit that and record that in essence he was acting illegally. He further said, continued the article, that because the law speak and renewal of driver's license being backdated to its date of expiration, so that means the fees must be backdated as well. You see what I'm saying here, folks? You can't make this thing up. This man is operating as if he's a Harvard law graduate. And here he is putting his own interpretation to the law. A man who is not a legally trained man is saying what the law should, according to his interpretation. Not that he sought advice from the Attorney General Chambers and he was given this advice. No, it's his own interpretation of what he believes the law should be. This is crazy. Continuing with the article, Crown Counsel Tamika Sims Williams asked him about fees being waived. He said that he has never done it. The director maintained his position in evidence in chief. He maintained his position, in my view, that he was acting illegally. And remember, good folks out there, that this decision by the magistrate is final. So when the magistrate pronounced her decision in favor of Mr. Arthur, this decision was final. The Attorney General Chambers cannot appeal this decision. Continuing with the article, very briefly here. The director was then subjected to cross-examination by the unrepresented Mr. Arthur. Let me interject again. Mr. Arthur is one of the most brilliant legal minds absent a formal law degree. Continue the article. Mr. Arthur took the director through sections of the ordinance The director still tried to maintain his position that he was right and supported by law to be charging people back fees. Mr. Arthur put to him forcefully that there's absolutely no provision empowering him to charge back fees. Mr. Arthur asked him to show the court one section in the ordinance where it speaks on back fees. After several attempts, for a near hour of cross-examination and reluctant responses, Mr. Cayley admitted that there is no section or provision in the laws governing the Department of Motor Vehicles that speaks specifically to back fees. And here you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Wilkie Arthur prevailed against the Director of Road Safety. And it is our understanding that the Director of Road Safety also charges back fees and motor vehicle license and other things that he has no authority to do. Just imagine for one moment that you had a passport and you haven't traveled for 5 years and you decide, well, I'm not traveling, I'm not going to renew my passport. And then you decided in the 6th year, I have an emergency or I have a very important occasion coming up and I'm going to renew my passport because I want to travel. And the immigration department says you have to pay backdated fees for the 5 years when you didn't renew your passport. Well, this is akin to what the Director of Road Safety has done. And the question now is, would persons who did not challenge the director and paid the backdated fees, would they be refunded? Or would there be any consequences for the Director of Road Safety for acting illegally for many years? Those are reasonable questions from members of the public. But I have a sneaking suspicion what would be done or what they would try to do, because we have a record, a history in this country of making what was illegal yesterday legal today. And it wouldn't surprise me if there's an attempt to go down the same path in this case. Here is where I will leave it for today. I thank you for watching. If you find anything that I say in this episode to be of use, please like, share, comment, and most of all, I thank you for watching. Bye for now.